Thanks, everyone. My name is Sonny. I'm here to help facilitate the meeting today. Talk about the Rise Up and Carve spoon template number 54, provided by Greg. And Greg, why don't I turn it over to you and you can do an introduction and give us a little bit of background about the spoon.
Okay, hi, good morning all. My name's Greg. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. And my idea for the number 54 was the concept of a pocket spoon. I'd always, even though I hadn't specifically carved something that I thought met what I presumed to be the idea of a pocket spoon, I was also worried that if I did, I'd end up putting it in my pocket and breaking it. So I thought for a while about how I could make a case to make such a spoon safe. And then I thought, well, why not use something I already had, which was a firm, what do you call a hard spectacle case, and just make the spoon fit in the case. And I tried that, and it sort of worked. And then I went on and thought, well, what else could you put in with it? But I ended up getting 5 spoons. I posted a little short, what do they call them, video on my Instagram page, which is allbeat55. In case you're wondering, that was because I bought an All-Bayer bicycle for my 55th birthday. That's how the name came out. So I'm sort of stuck with it. Anyway, yeah, I posted a short video on how I could get 5 spoons. This is my glasses case. I wasn't intending to advertise where I get my glasses from, but I wasn't going to do it now. It's a bit of fiddling around. I could get these 5. I could fit in the case. That was my idea.
Very nice. That's a lot. That's a
cranky spoon.
That's a she oak, and that's actually a failed spoon. It's not very obvious. It's a fairly poor choice of design. You can see it's just all short grain across the handle there, and it started out life as a long-handled spoon, then it broke twice and ended up like that. So that was my protected pocket spoon. And these that one's a small ladle I made out of some poplar. That was an Australian she oak. The variety I got access to is quite soft and easy to carve. That was a poplar ladle. I used that on the breakfast sprinkles, like what do we call LSA? We call it linseed, meal you just sprinkle over your oats. That was just a small teaspoon. I'm not sure what I made it out of. This was my berry spoon. It used to have a blue sort of finial on it, but I made this for picking up blueberries because I had the piece of wood that looked like the right size. And this is a what I thought was just an interesting looking spoon. I had a piece of the wood is white. That's just all the natural colour of it. Just a knot that had a fresh bit of wood growing out of it. Wow. That the colour remained. So I managed to fit all 5 of those in my pocket spoon protector.
very nice. That's really cool.
All simultaneously?
Yes, yeah. Well, that was the video on my Instagram page. That's where I posted it because it does take a bit of juggling to get them in. But
Yeah.
just to show it, I showed on my Instagram page a little what they call them, a trailer, not a trailer, a
preview. Well, a reel.
A reel, yeah, that's right. They converted it to a reel. Well, they called it a reel anyway. Just showed me opening the case and lifting all the spoons out. So but just to get the 1 spoon in's no trouble. And I just set out to make sure I could fit spoon in. I put it in that way.
Yeah.
I noticed someone made a case. I looked at all the ones that I could find. A few people, I said one guy made a case. Someone else do. They
let's turn it over and see what other people have, and then you can comment on it and see all the work put into it.
Okay.
So who wants to go next? Who wants to show what they've worked on? Anybody?
Yeah. I can. Well,
okay,
I don't. I the only thing I have is glasses for at the computer. It was safe, and so this is actually a fair bit smaller than the one you have, because over here there's like this ridge. Shouldn't be there.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the only thing I had. It's actually falling apart now. Oh my. Yeah, so if you put it in there right, it should be like this, but I gotta go back to the dentist, the optometrist to get new glasses. So I made this little spoon.
Mhm,
It's
looks good.
made out of cherry and on my maker's mark, and I put a nice finial on, or I like the round shape. It just fits the thumb very perfectly, and it's big enough, not too big, but I could fit a few more in there, I guess, now that I think of it. So I might make a few others that I can fit in there, because yeah, there's enough room for at least 3 more. So yeah, I don't have particularly big hands, but these tiny spoons, it's always fiddly and, you know, tiresome to just do these kind of movements all the time. So, but I was thinking to replace these, for normally wiping your glasses with sandpaper for actually smoothing out the
Okay, yeah.
bowl. So after you've eaten off the burnished wood, the burnishing, you can sand it. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I
Where-
liked it. I
Great.
liked it. Thank you, Greg, for the idea.
Where you
So-
can leave it
Well,
in
that's
there.
great. Well, thanks for,
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what was that, Sonny?
I was just saying you could leave the cloth in there and use it to wipe it off after you use it. You can clean
Yeah, yeah, clean your spoon, but microfiber. Well, yeah,
Mm.
maybe I can burnish it with, I don't know. Well, it's by the way, radially, it has the rings in it like this. Is that radial? I don't remember. Tangential,
So that's
radial.
that's tangential.
That's
Ah,
right. Yeah.
okay. So, and then bark. Oh, whatever. It has rings.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
wood.
just- Oh, wait, this isn't cherry. This is plum, but
Huh.
it's actually plum that has been in the freezer for 2 years, and it's really soft.
Oh, okay.
It's, yeah. I hear that you don't have plum. You're so unlucky. Well, anyway, that was it.
There.
Right.
Yes. Who wants to go next? Who has a spoon to show and tell? Raise your hand.
I'll go next to you one.
David, go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I wasn't quite sure I was going to be able to do this, so I did manage to get one to fit in the case, and I surprised myself because I really didn't think I could get this done. So this, I think, let's see this.
There you go. There, that's it.
I think
beautiful.
this is catalpa wood, but I'm not quite sure. And most of what I have is mystery wood. And I made a second one because I was so surprised that this one actually fit in the case. I wanted to see if I could do it a second time. So this is the second one that I made.
Nice.
And I mean, I'm still, struggling to get to the point where I can get a smooth finish with just the blade. These I managed to get pretty smooth, and I burnished with a stone, and they're oiled with the milk paint 50/50. So that's the two of them.
So
But I
what,
can't fit both of them in the case.
so what part to use the most challenging to get it to fit?
Well, I think I had to realize at some point I had to realize that I was a little bit too wide here. And the other thing for me, because I haven't done, I mean, I'm a fairly recent carver. I feel like I'm making the same mistakes over and over, but gradually improving. Looking at the diagram and trying to get this height right, it seemed like it was going to be too high for the case. But I just had to, just keep working at thinning it down. I think like all newbies, I don't really take enough off with the axe.
I thought that catalpa wood was actually rubbish, but
Well, I'm only suggesting catalpa because I recently had a piece given to me that definitely was catalpa, and it cuts very nicely.
okay.
It was nice.
But
and
you need a
green, so-
fairly big tree, I guess, because the pith is really big, right?
Yeah, this wasn't, this was maybe, I think the piece I started with here was maybe about 5 to 6 inches in diameter.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I mean,
Yeah.
quite substantial. Yeah. All right. Good idea.
Yeah, nice
Mine
work.
is still like as thin as a pencil, so can't make much out of that.
Well, yeah, but then you have an easier time getting down to a nice thin bowl.
Yeah.
So David, it looks like your spoons are really progressing. I like your work, and I'd say keep at it. It's a practice. It's a thing that really benefits from a lot of practice. And
Yeah.
even after you've carved several hundred of them, you still can practice more.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really have to work on is I have very little confidence with my sharpening skills, because it seems sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't. So I tell everyone my tools are sharp enough to hurt me, but not necessarily sharp enough to do the job properly.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's been fun. It was good to get way outside my comfort zone and do this.
There's a
Yeah,
few.
that's
Good.
yeah. I particularly liked your comments, David, when you said initially, what you say, you sulked for a couple of days because it didn't sort of fit into what you were hoping to see
Yeah,
as a challenge.
I remember saying to my wife, they're out of their minds. There's no way I can't do this. And then after a couple of days, I guess it just kept eating at me. I said, well, let me give it a try. So,
Yeah, I thought that was great. That's
well, thanks for the challenge.
Anybody else want to go next? Wave of hands. Ian?
Yeah, I'll go next. One spec case, very, very deep spec case. Carved a little bird cherry spoon first of all. I didn't put much of a crank on it, so it sort of rattled about in the case for a while, and I thought, well, I'm going to make something else. So I made a little fork out of a bit of very, very old cherry. This must be about 2 or 3 years old, this bit of cherry, so it's fairly hard. It still kept rattling about, so I thought, right, I'm going to have to make something else. So I made a tiny wee teaspoon out of holder. That was still rattling about, so I made a little knife, and that does all comfortably fit. Still rattles, so I could probably make something else.
That's very nice.
But no, it's a nice challenge. But I quite like these small spoons. I actually find bigger spoons quite uncomfortable to use now, so I quite like carving these and eating with them now, compared to a normal eater size spoon.
Can you show that fork again? The carving on that looked really cool.
Just a bit of colrosing.
Well, it's coal rosing, or is it deep as like chip carving?
No, there's a bit of chip carving in between the colrosing. So this is chip carved just in between, but the rest of it's all colrosed.
I like it.
I tend to combine both. I find it quite a nice effect. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, a nice challenge. Very nice challenge. Thank you, Greg.
yeah. Thanks for having a go.
Yeah. Cheers.
Who else wants to go? Jeff, Jeff, you're up.
Yep. Yes, I started doing a rhododendron one first, and
Oh, nice bit of curve.
It was
Yeah.
quite large. Like when it's in the case, it only just fitted in. I had to like shave the sides quite a bit to get it to fit in, and then it's got so much crank that there wasn't much room in there to put anything else in there, was it? It was the end of a piece of wood that it had like bark inclusions in it, and the bulb, so quite twisty grain in the bowl. It's a bit of a pain to get a nice finish on, but it's a nice spoon in the end. So I started another spoon, a bit smaller, a bit flatter. And it's she oak as well, just same as Greg's.
Hard or soft? I mean, the stuff I use, you can
nice.
carve it dry.
Yeah, no, it's quite nice to carve. Yeah. So it fits in there nicer. It's a bit smaller, so it fits in there nice. And then for the El Camino, I didn't like the spoon I put on the end of my fork on this one, so I just chopped the end off it and faffed around with a bit. And so now this is also she oak, so it's a nice little pair that fit in together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like the nice yellow case, it's lovely. Yeah, thanks, Greg. I've always wondered, like people say pocket spoon, and I thought you put it in your pocket, it's going to get dirty. It's I always wanted a case for it or something to protect it, and I never even thought about a sunglass case. So it was quite, it was good.
Yeah, I had some viewers had a look at it. But I make, you probably gather from all the little odds and ends, I tend to, if I see a shape in a stick, I'll sort of try and make something out of it. Small things.
So
But,
Phil or Kate, do you have a spoon? Either one of you?
Yeah, I do have one.
Why don't you go, Kate, and then I'll finish up, and then we can, we can wrap up the recording and, tell everyone thank you.
Cool. So I do not have glasses. I have some safety glasses, but then I was like, I don't really always have my safety glasses with me. So I decided to try. One thing I do always have in my purse is this little plasta container, these little Band-Aids. And
okay.
I tried to say it with the Australian. But anyway, so I made a spoon to fit in here. So it's really tiny. And yeah, actually made it this morning, so it's not really dry yet. So I think I might paint the handle like a really fun color, but it's just tiny little spoon. I think I could probably, there's like a ice cream place we go sometimes, and I was thinking it can just go right in there and I'll have it. So anyway, it's made with alder, and so it has some really cool, this one was a cool one. It has a medullary ray right here that's just streaked across. Yeah, so it was really fun. I was like, I'm gonna make a tiny one. And
So
yeah.
When you carve tiny spoons like that, are you starting with a small piece of wood, or are you starting with a long one and then cutting it off when you're done?
The process I used, I measured my box, and then I cut a length. I made a piece of wood that was a little bit longer than that.
Yep.
And then I chopped out my crank, drew my template, and then I chopped out the extra off the ends. So, or I sawed them off. So then I just went from there. So yeah, when I do the tiny ones, it depends. This one I needed to fit in here, so I made sure that I had the dimensions right. And my billet was probably like, it was about this wide, I think.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah. So if I run out of, it's kind of nice. It doesn't wiggle around too much because the Band-Aids are in there. So anyway, it's fun. Good idea, Greg. I like making tiny spoons, so just fun.
Kate makes really nice tiny spoons. I have one of them. I can vouch.
Yeah. So yeah, did you want me to? Should I show the coloring book too, Sunny?
Yeah, let me show mine and then we'll do the color.
Oh yeah, do your, yeah, I'll spotlight you.
Yeah.
I'm bad at following directions sometimes, and so the spoon that I carved looks nothing like the template, but
Yeah.
I did make an effort to make it fit into a box. But in this case, I'm using a pencil case that I had on hand, and so the first idea was to make a fork and a knife and a spoon that all fits in the pencil case. And I finished the spoon last night and was really having a hard time getting the pencil case to close. And I think finally overnight, the spoon dried out enough and flattened out that it all made it into the case, and I can get it shut now and the latches closed, but all three of them fit in there and it closes up really nicely. They're all carved from mulberry wood, and which has a really yellow hue to it. And it gets even yellower after you oil it. And then when it sits in the sun a little bit, it starts turning brown. So mulberry is really interesting wood to work. It's
Yes,
kind of,
I tried some a couple of years back.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
interesting. Nice.
While I've been off
I-
camera, I've been over here trying to shaving it down a little bit, making it thinner. This one is especially thick on the handle, so it's, you know, every little bit counts when you're trying to fit into a specific space. But I like the idea. I appreciate the thought, and I didn't really go with the same shape, but I did try to get it all into a travel container.
I was just wondering from what you said whether you could get a spoon where it was still green and actually bend it into the case and let it dry in the case.
I think if you tried hard enough, you could. Yeah.
Yeah, just to put a bit of shape in it that wasn't there, perhaps.
Yeah.
Cool.
So thanks again for contributing the template. I know everyone had a good time. There was some really nice things I saw posted on Instagram. I think for time today, we're going to skip the Instagram posts and just focus on Kate again. And Kate, you can talk about the coloring book, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, the hashtags haven't been working. I think Chuck skipped them last time
Yeah.
anyway, because the hashtags haven't really been working properly. So
And for those who haven't been involved, just to explain what she's talking about, we used to go through the Instagram posts and take a look at those, but Instagram has changed quite a bit lately, and it's harder to see a collection of the past carvings. So take a look on your own. There is that birch bark container or the bark container. I really like that, and you know, there's you know, a lot of work going on. Even those people who didn't make it today.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed someone put a little bottle of Tabasco sauce
Yeah.
in theirs, as well as the spoon. There was room for that. So that led me to think, well, you could make a miniature shrink pot or a little salt and pepper container
That's a great idea.
out of a hollow stick. That'd be something to think of.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
Lots of ideas.
Okay, Kate, over to you with the
Oh.
coloring book, I think.
Spotlight from, so well, the next template is this template that we did for the gathering we had out here, and it's kind of a bigger, it's supposed to be kind of big. Well, I mean, it's not ginormous if you have big hands, but it's just I was trying to make a template that would work if you went camping, because we were at our gathering was at a campsite. And I wanted it to be accessible for everybody, beginners and whoever. So the template is just, it's kind of like Sunny said, if you kind of have certain parameters. I drew 3 different choices and our team chose this one. And it's, you know, like Sunny said, he drew one that was very similar because it's a classic spoon
Yep.
shape. So, and then for our gathering, I had this idea that well, I had an idea for Rise Up and Carve for people who may not be carving, like kids, or if you want to take a break from carving or whatever, that we could have a Rise Up and Color book, coloring book. So I put it together. I got some people to contribute. This was our Spoon Bash logo. This is Suzanne. Sunny did this one, and I did this. I don't think I included, I don't know if there are any Australian species in there. And then this one, you might recognize Ian's chip carving style up here.
Very cool.
The
And
the Australian entries would be upside down.
oh yeah.
So,
I made a crossword and then decorated shrink pot. And we have Jeff's spoon doodle, which is really cool. And Oren did like a little tiny one. And then Kaylin got her brother to do this. So they did like a collaboration. So, and then on the back has some of the Rise Up templates and then about Rise Up and Carve. So anyway, it's pretty fun. Sunny and I are going to figure out how to get it up on the website so people can print out the coloring pages. So anyone can participate. And so it's just another fun little extra, way to get involved even if you're not carving or something. So
Great
That's
job,
my
guys.
wife. That's my wife's Christmas present sorted straight away.
yeah.
And what I would add too, Kate, and for everybody else, if there's other people who want to contribute pages or make coloring book contributions, I think we can figure out a way to post up, multiple authors and, as long as they're on a similar size format, either A4 or a letter size paper, they will all print and make a nice coloring book, and, PDF is easy to post online. So I think it's a great idea. We'll get this one started and put up there, and then work on others' contributions if we get some.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone has an idea, they can send it.
nice.
So thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Greg, for your contributions. We should wrap up the recording for today, and then whoever wants to stick around and carve or have other requirements or commitments, feel free to leave. But again, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. It was
Thank
quite
you.
interesting meeting people from around the world who responded to my idea, which suddenly seemed surprising that there were people just as silly as me. But anyway, thanks a lot.
You'd be surprised.